Halo Infinite Season 4 is only 2 weeks away, and with it comes features we've been waiting on for a very long time. A career ranking system, new maps, new equipment, infection. There's a lot to unpack here, but is it a W? In this video, I'm going to share my thoughts on everything so that you can decide for yourself. I've timestamped the full discussion in the play bar, and if you like the content, then don't forget to sub to the way.
You acquire this power up, you pop it, and all of a sudden you create a portal. With that portal, you're able to designate a location where you can return back to at the given press of the button.
We'll start with something I'm interested in, this new equipment, the Quantum Translocator. It sounds like something out of a Marvel movie. It looks like an Overwatch ability, and apparently 343 are considering this for competitive play, so cue the Twitter backlash. What is it and how does it work? Well, it's a power equipment, the first of its kind. So it takes the place of an OS or camo on the map, meaning it would spawn every 2 minutes in center map and you got to fight for it. I also assume you only get one use with this, though they didn't confirm that. From what I gather, you hit the equipment button to set down a return point wherever you're standing, and then hit that same button again later to warp back to that return point. I assume you can just do that whenever you like. There's no like time or distance limitation, though they don't talk about it. But the example they give is jumping off a map and catching an enemy sniper and then warping back to safety with the sniper. I think that's kind of cool, though good luck finding this type of situation every time. Like, this player just dropped the snipe for him to catch it, right? Like, assuming he jumps off first, you're not going to catch that snipe in time. The big concern I think people have is using this as like a get out of jail free card or using it with objectives. Considering you can't currently use equipment with objectives like the flag, let's say, I doubt 343 is going to allow you to warp a flag like halfway or all the way across a map. That would be ridiculous. It would be broken. But imagine warping back to center map, like near where it spawns, at the moment that your teammate is drawing flag, and then using that positioning to help escort that teammate with the flag, right? Like, there are strategic uses with this that I think can make it interesting, and I don't think you'd ever be able to spam it, right? Like, assuming you get one use with this and you can't just like get out of jail free all the time, you get one important, one strategic use with this. You don't want to just use it in a dumb, death situation. And also note that when you have one, there's a blue light on your wrist, so people will see that you have it. When you set down the return point, I assume everyone can see that as well, so they can keep that in mind. When you do warp, there's a trail line also that shows the direction that you're headed through geometry, so you can just watch the trail line to see where he's warping to. So there's a lot of key indicators that make this like very counterable, and you got to be very strategic with how you use it. So I'm actually very interested, especially considering it's going to be there instead of like a camo. You might grab one and then be first into the fight, knowing that you can escape, and using that aggro to kind of create an opportunity for your team or something. There might be meta spots on where to put the return points as well. I don't know. I'm open to it. And then we got the Threat Seeker, which is a standard equipment. It's like a competitive version of the Threat Sensor. My first impression of this is why? Why spend resources creating something that is extremely similar to what we already have? Though in, action, I think it looks all right. I'm not excited about it personally, but just based off of what I see here, you're launching what looks to be like a grenade that bounces in the environment. It pings once, so it doesn't continually ping like the threat sensor. It's one ping, and it's a line of sight ping. I think that's the biggest thing to keep in mind, is it's only going to ping stuff within a certain radius in its line of sight. So, well, this info looks very powerful, right? Like, it pings, and you see all these players through the wall, and a team can use that to collapse and destroy these players. I'm not sure how long you're revealed as well. They didn't specify that. That looks very powerful. Let's say that you see the grenade fly in and you get behind a wall and you block the line of sight. The information might hurt the enemy team as well, because they might think that there's less players in there than there actually is if you manage to dodge it by blocking line of sight, right? So you can kind of use the fact that you're not seen to your advantage to throw off a team who thinks they have info, if that makes sense. Like, there's kind of a strategic dynamic to this, I guess. That said, it's like, why would I have this over a shroud screen or over a repulse? You know what I mean? It depends on where they're going to put it on the map. It's just not... The idea of walling in competitive Halo is never an exciting feature to have, So, I don't know. It's cool to get new stuff. My thoughts on equipment is I like equipment that tends to be more movement, like skill-based movement focused. The repulsor is my favorite equipment in the game. I know there's a leaked equipment that's like, it's like some sort of a vortex that pulls objects and players to it. That sounds really cool, and I can't wait to see more of that. There was like some old, leaked footage on that. but something that impacts movement. I encourage you guys in the comments to give me some ideas on, what would be a cool equipment that would be skillful and impact competitive in an innovative way. Next, we got weapon skins. If you like weapon skins and you like Halo esports, you will probably like this. I think this is pretty cool. For every esports team you buy, you get basically every UNSC weapon. You get the BR, the Bandit, the Commando, Bulldog, the Rockets, the Sniper, the Sidekick, the AR. I think that's everything. The Hydra as well. They look cool. I think the biggest thing about this announcement is the new BR model. I'm a big fan of this new BR model. It's got me thinking where they could go with this. Like, imagine new models for other weapons. For the Bandit, for example, I would love a new model with a scope, or new sounds as well, like new weapon sounds for the BR, for the Bandit. I'd be open to something like that. Let me know what you think. I think there's some cool room for innovation here. I think what I'm most excited for in this entire update has to be this map right here. Forest looks beautiful. I cannot wait to play on here. I'm getting like Sanctuary and Delta Halo vibes. I'm getting Star Wars Forest of Endor vibes on here. It's just like highly detailed and very unique looking in comparison to other Infinite maps and areas of the game. Like, I wish Campaign looked like this, right? It looks very Halo. So I'm getting, nostalgia and a lot of excitement just looking at it. It's competitive viable, I think, as well. One of the only dev maps we've had since launch designed for competitive play. I think it's been like a year since we had Catalyst that came out that was a dev map designed for competitive play. Also a nice looking one. So it's just good to see. Right off the bat, I see a skill jump, I think, as well. We got a repulse and a snipe on this platform. This is, of course, designed to be a repulse jump, but I think with an edge lineup curb slide, you might be able to get the repulse, jump, and make it without the repulse. I don't know, but I'm going to be skill jumping on here the moment I can. And remember that we still have the Forge remake of Plaza or Solitude in the works. It was planned for mid-season 3. Now it's coming out early season 4. I believe I saw the image. I'll just say it's a tough sell based off of what I've seen. Like, I can already tell they've axed like 30% of the skill jumps. They've taken out a lot of the signs and the light posts I would normally use to get around the map. And I agree with Bound's tweet on this. Like, visually, it's just not vibey, right? Like, Halo 5's Plaza, in my opinion, is the best map in the game. It's a beautiful graphical powerhouse and a nice showcase for Halo 5. It's just a, vibrant map. Solitude looks dead by comparison. And I get that that's the point. Like, it's Solitude. I don't know. I just think this is the difficulty recreating maps, is we have these like preconceived expectations of how we want a map to look and feel. So it sets a really high bar for the Forge creators to develop something that kind of meets those expectations. But at the same time, I've seen Forge maps and remakes that look beautiful. So I don't know. Maybe it's just like the theme that's not exciting me. I feel like there is a distinct lack of purple in Halo Infinite. We need more purple, okay? Like more Covenant architecture, so maybe that's the direction they could go. Probably too late to change anything. I don't know. Let me know what you think of Solitude. And of course, this is season 4 Infection. I'm glad it's finally here. I'll be honest in saying I'm not a huge Infection guy. I wasn't one growing up, but I'm happy for everybody else. I think this is a main staple game type you expect to see in Halo Infinite. Apparently, the multiplayer backstory here is that the banished AI Iratus has infected Spartans and wants to infect the whole UNSC. It looks cool in design. I like the sword. The sword looks sick. I think that with Halo Infinite especially, and the more elaborate and built-out Forge mode, I think there's a lot of potential to make this really exciting. So that's what I'm most curious to see, is how the community uses Forge to build out something insane with Infection. It could be pretty cool. A little update to settings, by the way, that might have slipped under the radar, is they're finally adding a scope behavior setting to the settings menu. In case you're not aware, if you're in ×10 zoom with the sniper and you switch weapons twice, so YY out and then scope again, you'll snap to ×10 automatically instead of snapping to ×5 the first scope, which is just kind of an annoying feature for anybody that YYs out of scope. You don't typically want to snap immediately into ×10, like double zoom. It's just a nice convenience. I hope they also let you disable the second scope, right? I sound like a broken record at this point, but just a setting to disable second scope. Even for the Stalker, I think that'd be sick too. And finally, we got the career ranking system. I'm not going to go super in depth with this. I'll put a link to the article in the description of the video if you want all the details. I know Mint Blitz has covered this in detail as well. I'll just say I'm glad that it's finally here. It's something I would have hoped for at launch, but at least we have it now. Visually, I think it does the job. It's not, it's not like, once again, innovative in any particular way. Like, I miss the unique icons in Reach for like Nova and Inheritor, and like the skulls for like Legendary or whatever they had. Like, there was more like unique icons that I kind of liked. It goes through Bronze to Onyx, same as your ranking, which is kind of confusing because you could be like a Bronze Cadet but Onyx level in Ranked at the same time, whereas this has nothing to do with your competitive ranking system. There's 270 of these as well, so you got to be a Cadet grade 1, 2, and 3 before you can move to Private grade 1, 2, and 3, and then Lance Corporal grade before you get through all of Bronze and then all of Silver. So you've got a lot of kind of work to do to get through this. It doesn't start until it comes out as well, so all the time and progression we put into Halo Infinite has, does not contribute to this ranking system. I'm kind of mixed on this. I'm sure the community is as well. I like the fact that if you've kind of been sleeping on Infinite, you haven't been playing, here's some good incentive to start grinding now, right? But for everybody else like myself who's been putting the time into the game, we don't really get, the progress for it. I also find it interesting that custom games and Academy doesn't contribute to leveling up. I play a lot of custom games in Academy. So, it's kind of unfortunate that I almost feel like I need to forego that time spent there and spend more time in the online multiplayer just so I can kind of get more of this ranking system. That said, the rewards that I'm getting for ranking up don't seem that great just yet. I know Mint talked about this as well. It's just like emblems and nameplates. We need to see, weapon skins and armor coating, I think, right? Like, give us something exciting to work towards that's exclusive. People will grind their asses off for it, like, trust, right? So I think that would be some cool incentive. It's also difficult to fully see and appreciate this career rank because, well, it shows up on your nameplate and wherever your nameplate appears in the game. And, here it is right here. There's no pre and post game lobby in Halo Infinite, right? Like, that's a huge area where you would display any statistics that you have in the game. Like, I want to see, how many kills somebody got with every single weapon, or what's your KDA, or where do you stand on the leaderboard, etc., right? Like, all those little accolades that you get for putting time and energy and being skillful at a video game, these are all incentives to grind, and they just don't exist currently in Infinite. So it's like, I guess we're working our way towards that, but we really need to see pre and post game lobbies. More importantly for me personally than all of this is something like a champion rank as well, right? Like, I like that we got career progression. This is great for everyone who needs incentive to grind. For somebody like me who likes sweaty competitive play, I want to grind the champion. That's what I want to put my time into, like an exclusive reward for being skillful at the game. We still have yet to see something like that. So, there's some good progress here, but hopefully we see all these other elements too. And to be honest, I'd say the same thing about the season overall. There's some great progress here, and I'm looking forward to all of it, but there's still plenty of room to grow. There's still plenty of, updates and fixes to be had, right? It's not like desync is getting fixed as far as I'm aware, right? Or other little bugs in the game and whatnot that can make it kind of difficult to play at times. And I think finally, Infinite feels like a full-fledged game. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this is a full product. When you get on this, you've got a lot of incentive to grind. You've got a lot of different things you can do. There's a more fleshed out experience, overall experience being a Halo Infinite player now. It took a while to get there, but it's good that we're here. And I hope that that's the start of something special. I hope that we can start to build and grow from there. I'm curious to hear what you guys think of the season so far. Are you excited? What are you most looking forward to? What do you think is missing? What would you hope to see in, as soon as possible with Halo Infinite? I'm sure there's plenty still planned, but let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, that's all I got. So thank you for watching. If you want to watch more content from me, breakdowns, tips and tricks, etc., right here. This is the way.